The Delta Pro Ultra is a powerful, sexy, and honestly affordably priced unit. And unlike every other video on the Delta Pro Ultra out there, this one's not sponsored. You guys know here at the lab, our opinions cannot be bought. So welcome back to the lab, guys. Today we're taking a look at the Delta Pro Ultra. When this unit first dropped, to be honest, I hated it. It was ugly. I didn't understand who would want to buy something like this. And we had a lot of different opinions about this unit. But honestly, after we finally got one and got our hands on it, it is a completely different beast than I thought it was through the lens of everybody else's cameras. This thing actually looks incredible in person. It's really cool. We fully understand it. We know exactly who EcoFlow was trying to make this for. And honestly, pretty proud of the old Delta Pro name. It's come a long way. And so like always, if at any point during this video, you guys are like, hey, I'm sold. There's links down below in the description. Purchase from anywhere that you guys feel comfortable. Amazon, EcoFlow, Shop Solar. This video is not sponsored. And I'm sure at this point, most of you guys know a lot of the specs about the Delta Pro Ultra because they've sent one to everybody that's ever existed. But in case you guys don't, we will jump into a super quick 2-minute teardown. This smoke show has a 7,200 watt inverter and each battery is 6,000 watt hours. It is an absolute beast, but it does pass the tiny baby lift test. The inverter itself weighs 70 pounds and each individual battery weighs a whopping 116 pounds. So if you're a small boy like me and you're not jacked like tiny baby, you're gonna need to call your mom to help you move it because heavy. But good news, in the box, they all do come with a trolley. You can get almost 22 kilowatts of output with these guys if you pair up to 3 of the inverters together. And the inverters do have built-in split phase. So you do get 240 directly on the front of this inverter, which is so awesome. Even though this unit is geared towards being primarily a home backup unit, there's still 4 120 volt plugs on the front, as well as a dedicated 30 amp and an L14, which is just another bonus. There's also 2 USB-A's as well as 2 USB-C's. On this little side flap, you have an Anderson port, you have a low voltage solar port, you have a ground screw and a AC import on here as well. And on the side, you actually have a high voltage PV import, which is super cool. You can connect this up to an actual serious system and just jam it full of solar. On the side of the unit, you also have a power in and out port. And what's really cool with this unit is inside all these little doors, it gives you all the specs that I just told you. So you can look in here and know how big this inverter is, what you can run, what you can put into it so you don't blow it up by mistake, which is something that I've never seen on a unit yet. These units have a maximum AC input of 3,000 watts. There's also a maximum solar input of 5.6 kilowatts, which can be up to 16.8 if you have 3 of these inverters daisy chained together. There's also a bunch of charging accessories you can get for this thing. You can get the extreme adapter, which is basically just a Tesla stage 2 port. And you can also get an adapter that plugs directly into a regular gasoline generator if you're a dinosaur and you still carry one of those things around. Each inverter can also handle 30 watt hours of battery capacity, meaning you can stack up to 5 of these 6 kilowatt batteries underneath each inverter to get a total of 90 kilowatt hours of capacity and a total output of 21.6 kilowatts on the inverter side of things. But before we jump in to the big debate on whether you should buy this for whole home backup or just a full custom solar kit, let's chat about all the things we really like about this unit and also all the things we really don't. One of the coolest things I was actually really surprised to find on this unit was preconditioning on the battery. Similar to a Tesla, basically just warms the battery up so that when you arrive at the fast charger, it's able to get more battery more quickly. This does the same thing. When you plug this thing in, the battery preconditions so that it can accept more power at a more rapid rate and basically fast charge the unit, which we thought was really, really cool. It makes basically no noise. We tested this with like a really aggressive kitchen load and you could hear the toaster running more than you could hear this thing running. It was crazy. Even charging, the fans on this thing don't come on. Like you really have to stress this guy out to get it to make the slightest amount of noise. If you just plug this into a regular 120 AC outlet and you're putting 1700 watts into it, dead silent. You plug in the Delta Pro beside it and it sounds like it's trying to launch itself into space. If you were to use this in an RV or something like that, that is where that becomes really, really cool. And I think something that I don't even know how I failed to mention yet, but is probably the best thing to happen in generator period history is this thing right here. This is the first time in my entire life that I've seen someone put 5 minutes of thought into the frickin' doinker that normally connects these units. You guys know Blue Eddy uses an elephant whereas this thing, you wouldn't even know it exists. I also just love a lot of the attention to detail that they've started to include on these units. These ports magnet closed, but once you get them to here, they kind of click into place and they stay open. Even down to things like when you open these little side ports, they gently tuck away and just go right into their little home. You don't have to pull them off or do anything weird. I also really just like the update to the screen. I think it's really simple, it's really clean. Digging into the app, honestly, I really thought that they might give this a little bit more juice. It doesn't look any different for this unit than it has historically. You are able to do some things inside of this app though that you can't do directly from the unit, such as change the charging speed. You can also set automations for the Delta Pro Ultra, so you can have AC charging, AC discharging, and DC only discharging automations, where it will cut off after a certain percentage, it'll charge at a certain time of day, which actually opens the door directly to peak shaving. If you don't know what peak shaving is, you're basically just taking the low cost of the nighttime, putting it into this unit, and then using this unit during the day when prices are higher. Did I explain that well? It felt kind of like a monkey with cymbals. And of course, this unit does 240 directly out of the unit, which is really, in my brain, something that shouldn't be this hard to do. I'm really happy we're seeing it here. Historically, if you've wanted 240 out of a Delta Pro, you would need this dual voltage hub. You plug this into 2 Delta Pros. On this unit right here, you actually just have 240 access straight out of the L14, but you can also get what is kind of similar to that dual voltage hub, but this allows you to plug 240 Delta Pros into each other and get up to 12 kilowatts of output into this 50 amp hub. Now, it is a pretty simple hub. There's just one 50 amp plug on the front, and there's a ton of other things that we obviously love about this unit. We could go on for days. There's a couple things that just kind of grind my gears with this. And I think the first one is that EcoFlow has decided that they are trying to be Apple. All of their connections have changed for their new lineup. Now, we've seen this before. Even when the Delta Pro came out, you were able to buy an adapter like this that plugs into the Delta Pro and actually allows you to use Delta Max expansion batteries, which was cool. If you already had invested in another lineup, you could continue to use those products in your new lineup. But as far as we can find, there is no thing like that for the Delta Pro Ultra. So if you already have Delta Pros, even though they share the same name, you're unfortunately unable to connect any expansion batteries or Delta Pro to the Ultra, which is kind of a bummer. Another thing that kind of bugs us is that this big beast, which you've seen me barely move because I almost can't, is basically designed for home backup. It's not a Delta Pro. It's in a completely different category, but it only has 5,600 watts of solar input, which isn't a lot. Yeah, it has a high voltage port on the side here, which is really cool, but it's not a lot of solar. And to kind of go on that same point, EcoFlow doesn't actually sell this paired with panels because truthfully, I don't know that they make panels that are good enough for this. But here's the debate. When EcoFlow made this unit, they knew exactly who it was for. And to be honest, at first, it was very unclear to me who this is for and why would you even buy it. But what it does for the home backup market is actually insane. It basically takes everything and puts it all in one simple, small, convenient package. This is the one and done simple answer to wanting a home backup kit and not wanting to learn about it, to know what a million different products are that all pair together. And sure, there's resources like Shop Solar where you could call them, talk to an expert, they can help you put together a kit. You don't have to know all that, but this is just like an easy one and done, click, purchase online, shows up at your house. All you need is a transfer switch and a decent L14 extension cable, and you could have this thing rocking in no time. The dilemma comes in where this unit with 3 batteries, which is a pretty decent home backup size. So 1 inverter, 3 batteries is $12,400. When we did a little bit of research, we found a really close comparison to a 15 kilowatt solar kit on Shop Solar's website is $13,500. So for an extra $1,000, you get a full roof of panels and everything else that's involved in there. So the debate kind of becomes, well, this unit is absolutely sick. Do you buy it and then pay for all the extras that you're still gonna need, like panels and your transfer switch and the wiring and all that kind of jazz? If I was put up against the choice, being me and loving to just waste my weekends building shit that I could pay people to do, and it would probably go way better, but I wanna do it myself, I would choose the full kit because I'm about bang for your buck. I'm cheap and I love bang for your buck. And it's also kind of fun, the potential that I could burn my house to the ground because I don't know what I'm doing. If you were to ask me what you should get, if you aren't exactly like me, I would just recommend this. That's it. I would, like, if any of you guys came through this camera and was like, what would you get? I would just say, if I were you, I would buy this. This is the most like innovative, coolest thing that we have played with yet. It's dead silent. It requires no work. It is a little bit more expensive whenever you start adding panels and stuff, but you don't need to know shit hit. How does an inverter work? How do you wire this to that? Who cares? Did you lift the flap? 240. It doesn't get easier than this unit. And honestly, during our testing, there was nothing that this unit couldn't really do. So we think something that would be really interesting. We're actually about to install a transfer switch at our house here, and we're gonna just get another battery for this guy maybe and start actually putting it to the test. So we will come back to this thing in a month, 2 months after we have fully abused it and see if our opinions change, because opinions can always change. But as of right now, that's not the opinion I thought I'd be giving. Anyways, that's all we got for you guys today. Make sure you guys comment some tests you would like to see us run this through. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out and stay charged.